I call Pitaperani.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker, tēnā hoki tātou e noho nei roto te hare. Tiwhatiwha ta pō, kakarauru e te pō. Kia au I te pō tiwhatiwha hara tuatia. Taka wiri ngā marae, a Māui ka puta teira tangata ki te whei ao, ki te ao Marama, tihe ua Māori ora. E tātou mā, e tūwahi poto tēnei kei te tautoko ngā mihi a toku tuakana a pēni ki te hakatau i a koutou ngā iwi o Taranaki. Nā reira nau mai haramai. Mr. Speaker, kei moeho mai koutou ko tēnei he karere. Ko au te karere mō te rōpu Aotearoa tuatahi. Nā reira, ka horekau I hakahengia ngā kōrero o ngā kai kōrero I tuake I mui ia. Nā te mea, e tika ana, ko taike tēnei pire ki te hakatau tā koutou kreme. E tika ana hoki, aha koa me pēhea te kaha a te krauna I hakapā ki a koutou. Engari kore kau ke I tai ki te hakautu ngā mamaitanga I taka mai I runga I a koutou I tērā atu rautau. Nā reira kei mohe mai koutou, wena te hakaro o Aotearoa tuatai. Engari, wena te mea nui, ko te engari arike. Engari, I mua haere tonu o toku kōrero e tika ana kia mea atu kia tātou te āhuatanga I puta mai tēnei pire he wā tino taumahatanga I roto te hitoria o tēnei o enei motu. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that I stand in support of the welcome extended by my elder brother, Penny Henare, to our visitors to their house today, and to acknowledge all those who have passed, and to acknowledge those also who have been responsible for bringing this claim, this settlement, to this point in time. And while we've heard in previous settlements that the Crown can never apologize enough or recompense the iwi enough to meet the full breach that the Crown imposed at the time on iwi Māori. And I want to take this opportunity of supporting that acknowledgement. And in so doing, I hope that the people of New Zealand will also accept that very point. Mr. Speaker, as the previous speakers have pointed out, in 1860, Ngāruahine had their own independence. They were economically sustained by their own efforts. And yet 5 years later, all the asset base in which they relied on for that same sustainability, for that same rangatiratanga that we talk about, was all gone. And so they moved as a consequence of that. And 5 years later, in 1870, they were again dismantled, or 1981, I should say, they were dismantled, and some were taken off to prison without any formal charges being made. Now, this bill, sir, is all about compensation for those breaches. Some speakers have talked about a particular clause in the bill, sir, and I want to base my contribution to this debate around that. And I'm referring to clause 86, iwi representation on council committees. I appreciate that this was what was asked by those who represented the iwi. But I want to just remind this House that a little over 2 months ago, we had a series of local body elections. And a number of Māori were elected onto council. They got there without the need to having special legislation. And it's often been said that one of the reasons why Māori are not as representative as they should be on local body council is because people don't vote. And I know that those who have been responsible for bringing this bill to this House today know that they need to focus on their young people. And I'm talking about those who reach the age who are allowed to vote through to, say, 35, because it is that group of people who do not vote. And if we aren't going to have people voting to get our people onto council, then we will have the situation in which this clause tries to address. I want to also say, Mr. Speaker, and I want to remind the House that in 2002, the then Labour government introduced a bill that established 2 seats dedicated for Māori on the Eastern Bay of Plenty District Council. At the time, Mr. Speaker, that council had 6 members who claimed Maori descent. Subsequent to the passing of that piece of legislation, that council has had no more than 2 Maori representations on council. So what I'm suggesting, Mr. Speaker, that this clause within the bill will limit Maori representation just to that committee, unless our people get out and vote. And if they don't do that, then, Mr. Speaker, councils will be bereft of that representation. I also want to make the point about particular interest groups, like the Federated Farmers. And we oppose that as well. So just to make this House aware that we oppose that. That's in spite of Taranaki area having a number of Māori farmers who probably are represented by the Federated Farmers. But I just want to make that point, Mr. Speaker. And with the time that's left for me, I just want to wish the Ngāruahine the best as they go forward. And if they think that the task of getting this to this stage has been one of hard work, can I suggest that the future will be even harder? And while I'm on my feet, I just want to ask whether or not some of their negotiators might want to join my relatives in the north and help us get our settlement. But then again, that's something for the north. Nā reira e tātou mā, kia tautarangi Māori kei runga i a koutou, i te wā i anga mua i a koutou. Nā reira tēnā koutou, kia ora mano tātou.